Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. Today, of course, we're going to be reviewing the Chelsea nil, Bournemouth nil fixture, of course, playing away. And let's switch over to the other screen and take a look at this. So, of course, it ended 0-0, and the first thing I want to say is that that was an absolutely dire performance from Chelsea. As you can see here, the SofaScore ratings, an 8.4 for their goalkeeper, an 8.2 for Robert Sanchez. He was by far our best player, making a few clutch saves. You know, Bournemouth could have won this one 1-0, 2-0, I think, fairly comfortably if it wasn't for a few moments of brilliance. He made 4 saves in total, as you can see down here. And was just pretty good all round, you know, had some good sort of aerial dominance in his box, good commanding of the area, but overall this game was an absolute disaster. Yet again, if you look to the left, Chelsea have racked up a decent XG, a 1.7 XG, and have managed to score 0 goals. 64% of possession, pretty even on the shots in all fairness to Bournemouth, 14 to their 13, 6 on target to their 4. We had quite a few corners, but never, I don't even remember us really winning a corner, a header in the box, you know, from this corner. And that leaves us down in 14th position as things stand. Everton still with a game to play, Burnley with 2 to play, so they could go above us. You know, this is actually like dangerous for Chelsea at the moment. We start the season off with draw, loss, win, draw, and a loss. That is awful form. Yes, we've got all these players out injured. You know, it is a problem. We practiced preseason with key players in here. Reece James being one of them, Christopher Nkunku, Badiashile is a player that I think in this back line would probably be solid for us. Of course, Fofana is brought to be eventually this, you know, starting centre back for us. We have no option other than Nicholas Jackson up front because Armando Broja's out. Like, there's plenty of problems. But if you look at the team that started today, we went with more of a traditional back four, which is what people have wanted. Malo Gusto on the right, Disasti, Thiago Silva, and Levi Colwill playing here in the left back position. The midfield I thought was pretty balanced. I thought Leslie Ogachukwu was pretty decent, not outstanding, but decent. Conor Gallagher on a 7.6, had a pretty good game. Enzo on a 6.9, maybe had a few sloppy moments, but still was, you know, the Enzo that we know. Modric, I thought this rating, I think, really flatters him. I thought he was pretty poor today. Gave the ball away a lot. Looked just quite bland, sort of like the rest of the team. Sterling probably our brightest player. Having, you know, that free kick that hit the corner of top right corner where the post meets the crossbar and then bouncing off the line and out. I think he had a couple more chances as well. And then Nicholas Jackson on a 6.8. You know, he had a couple moments. His XG in this game was only 0.21, so he only had a couple of chances. But one of the key ones for me was when the ball's crossed into the box, and instead of headering it from about 6 yards out, maybe even a little bit closer, it hits his face towards goal, in all fairness, but ends up just hitting his face and rolling towards the goal, ready for the keeper to pick up. And then the substitutes of Cole Palmer, Ben Chilwell, and Ian Maatsen. I thought Chilwell was quite sloppy. It wasn't great. Ian Maatsen had a lot of energy, was obviously trying some things, but overall not really impacting the game much. And Cole Palmer, I think 7.1 was generous. I actually thought that he picked up the ball quite a lot, ran around with it, but never really threatened at all, really. And he came on in the 63rd minute. So I do think he was pretty poor. And looking down here, the big chances, only one created for Chelsea here. One big chance is made, one missed. Hit the woodwork twice. We had an early shot from Nicholas Jackson that hit the post. And the shot from Sterling off the free kick. And, you know, if those go in, we're talking very differently about this game. We're saying a 2-0 win against, you know, weak opposition. It's not too bad. You know, we didn't look the greatest, but we got the result. But when we've relied on our goalkeeper on an 8.2 rating to be the guy that, you know, keeps us in this game, keeps us at a draw, it's pretty shocking. And, you know, I'm not in panic stations. I'm not worrying that, is this squad good enough? Is this manager good enough? You know, no talk of any sort of premature talk like that of, you know, he needs to be sacked, we need to get someone else in. I think that's just ridiculous, because what is going to change if you change a manager? Nothing. Like, we've seen these teams over the past few years for Chelsea struggle to score. We've had plenty of injuries throughout the years, and it's the same story over and over again. So this team is going to need time, but unfortunately there's like the real threat, if Chelsea were to continue like this, and it's crazy to even be thinking it, of being worse than last year. You know, we finished, what was it, 12th last year? And as things stand, we're 14th. We could well be a bit lower by the time that other teams play their games. And that is absolutely mental to think that we could spend all this money. Yes, I do, I don't really like that argument because we spent all this money. That doesn't necessarily mean that, game week 1, you're ready to go and you're a much better team, because we've invested it so much in, these youth players that are going to come good eventually. But right now, need a bit of love, attention, crafting their skills from a top manager like Pochettino. So this is going to take time, but Chelsea really need to get, themselves together. Our next game is against Aston Villa, and they are a team that are flying pretty high at the moment. They're in 7th position. They got 3 wins, 2 losses from their first 5 games, so they're looking strong. They're probably, if we'd have started in the season with 3 wins, 2 losses, we probably wouldn't have been too mad. But instead, we're looking very, very mediocre with a draw, loss, win, loss, draw. Like, that is so not form that Chelsea can be keeping up. After that, we then move into a cup game against Brighton, not long after that, only a few days later. So we really need to get our stuff together, because Brighton are looking amazing right now. I'm pretty sure they're currently sat at, they're 4th in the Premier League table. So that cup game is not going to be easy. The game against Aston Villa is not going to be easy. And we need to figure out a way of scoring goals, because before this game, the Chelsea social media posts and all that were all about, look at us in training, look at how the finishing is looking amazing in training. You got Mudryk hitting the back of the net, Nicholas Jackson hitting the back of the net. It's all, it's all brilliant. We're looking great. And then you come to a game like this, where we have plenty of chances, but don't really convert any of them, and never really look that threatening. Like, the free kick from Sterling, it's very unfortunate that it's not gone over the line. But other than that, do you really remember their keeper being, pummeled with shots? There was a couple decent saves. One where Sterling crossed in for Cole Palmer, but it was fairly close to him. He just, popped a hand up here. I don't know. For a club like Chelsea, we're just not threatening enough by any means, and we're not scoring enough. Our defence isn't woeful. We've conceded 5 goals this season, and the same goes for Tottenham. Liverpool conceded 1 less, Man City conceded 2 less. It's scoring that is the obvious problem here. And, what is the solution to this? Because at the moment, Nicholas Jackson struggling to find his feet. Raheem Sterling showed a little bit of form, but still not consistently scoring for us. Mudryk on the left looks like his confidence is shot right now whenever he's on the pitch, so he's not going to be doing it. Noni Madueke on the right, if he's, in the fold, is he, the goal scorer that we need? I think he can pop up with one here and there, but he's not the guy that's going to do it. And Kunku, when he's back fit, sure, I think he can help us not only get goals himself, but also bring other people into play, because his link-up play was so good. And we saw that in pre-season. But that, that's months down the road. We can't wait until months down the road. So there needs to be a serious fix up in training this week to get us ready for that game against Aston Villa. Because if we don't, realistically, I think we need to score 2-3 goals in that game, because I think Aston Villa will score. I think that, our defence is shaky here and there today. Bournemouth could have scored at least 1 if Robert Sanchez wasn't on top form. So I think Aston Villa would definitely get 1 or 2 goals. That means we need to score 3. And do we look like doing that? We've scored 5 in 5 games. So very, very worrying signs. But no need for any, rubbish talk about Poch has to go, he's not the right manager, he's not capable, because we know he can coach young players into being brilliant talents. It's going to take time. But he needs to come up with something quick, whether it's some sort of change to formation, personnel on the pitch, something has to change. So that's my thoughts on the game. Of course, I'll be very eager to see what you guys think on this one. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like, hit subscribe so you never miss out on my future videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.